Hi, Jack. How are you?
Hi, Rachel. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. So, I thought that we'd just get together and you could tell me a little bit about. I'd like you to tell me about a time when you used clean language with your family.
Yeah, so I have such lovely memories of doing this with my nieces. So many years ago, when my niece, who's now a teenager, was just 5 years old, my sister said, "Could you watch her for a little bit after she'd come back from Sunday school?" And I was like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do to entertain a 5-year-old child?" Having had no, experiences whatsoever. And that's when I thought, okay, I'm just going to use some clean questions with her. So I said, "What
Okay.
happened at Sunday school?"
Hmm.
And she said, "Well, this is what the teacher taught us." And I'm like, "Oh, and was there anything else about what the teacher said?" And then she went, "Oh yeah, that," and she shared a biblical story. And I'm like, "And then when Jesus did this, then what happened?" And then she said, "And then, this happened." And I'm like, "Oh, and then this happened." So all I was doing was I took her exact words and I just kept asking her, "And then what happened? And then
Hmm.
what happened?" And before I knew it, it was like 30 minutes had passed. And
And
she
then
was
what happened, Jack?
so 30 minutes had passed and she was still engaged in this conversation with me
Hmm.
after 30 minutes. And I was just so astounded at how just repeating back her exact words and asking her a clean question just kept it moving. She felt like she was being loved and paid attention to, and all of those things. Yeah.
And what was it like for you,
It
spending
was
that time and asking and spending that time and asking her those questions like that? What was it like for you?
it was really special. I mean, I really felt like I was bonding with my niece. And more importantly, it felt as if I was doing very little work because I didn't have to think up of my own stories.
Yeah.
They were her stories. And
Hmm.
all I was doing was just repeating back just a couple of the words she'd used and asking her, "And what happened next?" Or, "And then what happened?" And that gave her permission or an invitation to keep telling me more. So I found out loads about what happened in her Sunday school just by doing those two things, repeating back her exact words and asking her a clean question like, "What happens next?" or "Then what happens?"
And what do you think the impact was on her?
I think she must have, I mean, for a 5-year-old child to spend half an hour with her at that point, 40 something year old aunt, who, I mean, I wasn't doing a song and a dance. I wasn't throwing any toys at her. I wasn't using any electronics with her. For her to be sitting down there for 30 minutes, and it must have been maybe even longer than that, having this engaged conversation with an adult must have meant that she felt really engaged herself in the conversation. And essentially, I think she was engaged with her own stuff. It wasn't my stuff, it was hers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely. It's a great example. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Rachel. I love that story.